I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. I'd like to take a moment to remember all School District Number 1 employees who are no longer with us. Thank you. Okay, welcome everyone. We have roll call, Ms. Montoya.
Mrs. Berlina.
Present.
Mr. Barnes.
Here.
Mr. Montera.
Here.
Mr. Torres.
Here.
Mr. Lagos.
Here.
4.0, can I have a motion for the approval of the agenda for tonight, August 1st, 2013?
Madam President, on the couple of questions on there. Personnel, is that just going to be a variety of personnel?
Yes.
Yes. We can talk about a lot of personnel issues.
Yes.
Yes. And also, if it's agreeable to the rest of the board members, I'd like to, as I had said earlier, if we could reopen our discussion with respect to the busing, the activity bus that we had talked about, approved at our last meeting. As you'll recall, I sent an email to everybody asking for a special meeting to further discuss that, given the cost that we were involved with. I'm assuming it hasn't gone out for bid yet, or if it has, hopefully the window's still open for the bid so we can further discuss that issue in terms of the expense and the impact that that'll have on our agreement with the union, where that money we set aside to do the buybacks would be used for this bus. And I think that breaks the trust with the union, so I'd like to discuss that.
Has the bus gone out to bid yet, Dr. Rodriguez?
We have a bid, and we've already made the order for the bus.
Okay, so end of discussion. Okay, so I have a motion to approve the agenda for tonight.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I'd like to. If you recall, Madam President, at the last board meeting, I asked for a couple of items for our next board meeting, which is tonight.
No, this is a special meeting. Our next board meeting really is not till the 21st.
But there's still, I'd like to have these items. We have not acted on the negotiated agreement with the unions, and I think we need to discuss that and make that an action item.
That will be on the item on the agenda for August 21st.
Even though the bus is already...
You are out of order.
I would like to, I'd like to pose it to the rest of the board member. I don't know if you guys are in agreement with this or not wanting to discuss this, but I think we need to, we have an agreement. We signed a tentative preliminary agreement with the union, and now we're just continuing. We should have done this last month.
Well, I was informed that it was supposed to be covered in the next board, the regular scheduled board meeting. This meeting was just scheduled actually to try to finish up the process for the financing on the Siemens agreement. So I understand
it was sure that's the initial the Siemens agreement. That was part of it, but then the additional all these other items that were added to the agenda, and that was I just fail to see why we can't have a discussion on the negotiated agreement and come to some conclusion. We have two unions, and we've discussed it. We proposed to them, and they came back and agreed to it, and now we're not acting on it.
I just believe that this board meeting was called basically for the Energy Conservation Program. That's why it was called. All this other will be addressed in our regular meetings on the 21st.
If nobody...
Yeah, I know why it was called, because we got the email that we were going to talk this time about the resolution. And then I got one copy of an agenda, and then that expanded to almost double the size by the time I got the second copy.
Okay, well, the reason for the personnel is because school's going to be starting here within the next couple of weeks or so. These people have to be taken care of. This thing has to be taken care of.
Well, no, I understand, but...
And we just decided that we would use this as a sounding board to get immediate action done as needed.
It just seems like we modified the agenda, and one more modification is not going to hurt anything. We need to hire people, like you said, to get started with the school year, but we need to take care of the people we've got already, too.
Yeah.
Can't ignore them.
We're not ignoring it.
The other thing I want to know is that the consent agenda, can we pull those items after we've had the information items? Can we pull some of these consent agenda? Consent?
I believe that it says there in 7.0, the items placed on the consent agenda are routine in nature and typically do not require further information or discussion. Any member of the board desiring to discuss one or more of the consent items may request that the item or items be removed from the consent agenda and added as an action item by making a motion to amend the agenda prior to approval.
And Chairperson, just as a matter of process, and I'm not going to contest it, you know, I don't want to get it where we were last time. But normally, it's been my experience with consent agendas that if you look at the agenda, if there are items that you don't want to just deal with as a consent item, at the beginning of the meeting, you would pull it out, and then you would deal with it differentially. I would like to ask, like I say, I'm not going to contest any changes later in the meeting, but I'd like to ask that we revisit that policy in terms of how we handle consent agendas. Because customarily we would make that call right up front, set it aside, and then deal with it, you know. Okay.
Oh, yeah, and the consent agenda, according to Robert's Rules of Order, consent agenda are your normal routine, you know, let's pay this bill, let's do that kind of thing. Those are things you're going to approve because those are common things, but we've got a variety of things that are uncommon in here. And so maybe we ought to revisit the way we structure the consent agenda, so it's only those really, really routine items, and everything else comes under the next time. That way we wouldn't have to worry about pulling it, they'd already be
No, I think you're right.
in a special place, so we vote on them separately anyway.
So are there any items that you'd like to
Yes,
pull?
I'd like the resolution for the energy compensation project. The library media specialist at the high school, the administrator for Trinidad School, Trinidad School. F, assistant principal, Fishers Peak Elementary.
Jack, will you start? I'm sorry. A little
Okay,
slow.
A,
Okay, A,
B,
B, or D?
B as in boy, administrator for the Trinidad High School, Trinidad School. F, assistant principal, Fishers Peak Elementary. That's those.
Okay, and you want those for action items?
And I'd like to pull C and E as well.
Don't we have, is E and, what is it, H connected?
I have no idea.
Is that the same? I haven't looked at it.
Yeah, I just got the book.
Are those the same position?
I don't know, I haven't looked yet. I think we'll discuss that in executive session.
I move that the agenda be approved as amended.
Second.
Mrs. Bernino?
Yes.
Mr. Carnes?
Yes.
Mr. Montero?
Yes.
Mr. Torres?
Yes.
Mr. Lagos?
Yes.
Okay, we're at 5.0 executive session. I need a motion for the board to go into executive session in accordance with Colorado Revised Statute 24-6-402. F, having to deal with personnel.
Madam President, we will vote on some issues when we come back out of the executive session.
Well, we're going to, yes.
All right. I so move.
Mrs. Bernino?
Yes.
Mr. Carnes?
Yes.
Mr. Montero?
Yes.
Mr. Torres?
Yes.
Mr. Lagos?
Yes.